Topping today's news, a young man being questioned by police for the rape of an elderly woman. The government defends its record on crime and national security. All eyes on Tropical Storm Brett and more incentives for Bahamians to get a piece of the tourism pie. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jarino Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News. It's a pleasure to have you join us. Police are questioning a 19-year-old male of Warren Street, Oaksfield, in connection with a recent sexual assault. The victim, an 83-year-old female of Market Street. The incident reportedly occurred around 2:30 p.m. on Monday afternoon. The elderly woman was at her home on Market Street when she was beaten and sexually assaulted by the male. Acting on intelligence, police arrested the suspect around 7:30 p.m. last night in the area of Soldier Road. Police are investigating and appealing to members of the public, especially those who have elderly family members, to visit them regularly and make arrangements to have an adult caretaker assist them with their daily needs. Two men, ages 31 and 33, are in hospital. They're in stable but serious condition following a shooting incident in Golden Gates No. 1 on Monday afternoon. Police here in the capital are now on the hunt for the gunman behind this double shooting. Sometime around 4:30 p.m. on Monday, the two males were standing outside of a home on Bamboo Street when two male occupants of a black van pulled up. It is reported that the suspects exited the vehicle and fired gunshots in the direction of the men, which resulted in one being shot multiple times above the body and the other being shot to the lower body. Subsequently, the victims were transported to hospital. Police are investigating and appealing to members of the public who may have any information that can assist in locating the suspects to contact the police at 911-919, or you can call CID or Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS. That's 328-8477. As crime once again was the topic of national discussion following 3 killings over the weekend in the span of 48 hours, the subject was brought up during the 2023-2024 budget debate in Parliament on Monday as the deputy leader of the official opposition took the government to task. Arkale Campbell was tuned in and filed this report.
Member of Parliament for St. Barnabas, Deputy Leader of the Free National Movement, Shannon Cartwright, lambasted the Davis-led administration, accusing the incumbent government of doing nothing for the people of the over-the-hill communities, citing the increase in murders in the country. The MP, who has been advocating for the government to present a comprehensive plan on how it will address crime, also reiterated his claim that the government is disadvantaging security branch members.
On the issue of crime, Madam Speaker, there was 128 murders last year, 51 murders this year, Madam Speaker. And we have consistently said that crime is not a political issue, but we've asked the government to lead. But the truth is, the only significant announcement as it relates to national security has been to take away benefits from the security branches in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Rising to a point of order, Minister of National Security Wayne Munro responded to the St. Barnabas MP's claim, stating that the national policy with regards to the nation's security was announced previously at the University of the Bahamas during a Meet the Policymakers lecture series.
National security policy has been announced. The recruitment policy, where we have recruited in 20 months, more people than they recruited in 4.5 years, the investment in technology, the investment in equipment, the investment in infrastructure have all been announced, yet St. Barnabas continues to suggest that a serving policeman has had anything taken away from him, and the ones who will turn out in the square on Thursday still get the benefits because they were in service. And St. Barnabas should know that the effort is to seek to get their reservists who will be turned out with them, just like the reservists here, benefit. So we should not be selfish.
As the Shadow Minister of National Security, MP Cartwright maintained that the organizations of security branch members have a right and have voiced concerns.
The truth is that a benefit is being taken away from those organizations.
Yes.
They've been used to a certain, the organization has been used to a certain benefit level in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And so now, again, and I won't read it again. I wouldn't read it again. Both the Police Staff Association and Correctional Services have talked about this issue, that the benefit is going to be taken away come July 1st for their organization. And in these communications, they've expressed why it shouldn't happen, because they are not being selfish.
Minister Monroe clarified that security branch members are entitled to benefits, not organizations on the whole.
See, that's in Barnabas advances is that an organization has a benefit. The Royal Bahamas Police Force has no benefit. Individual police officers do. The Bahamas Department of Correction has no benefit. Individual correctional officers do. And both of those staff associations, by statute, which I believe the FNM put in place, are not trade unions to be consulted. It is a matter that is very clear, and to encourage anybody of disciplined forces to disobey the law really isn't something that St. Barnabas should be taking part in.
Before moving on to his criticisms of the planned construction of the new prison, though he admitted that he could not go toe-to-toe with the MP for Freetown Monroe, in a court of law, MP Cartwright affirmed that in the court of public opinion, members of the security branches have real concerns, while the government spends $135 million on consultants. For Jcn News, I'm Cale Campbell.
Thanks for that report, Cale. Tropical storm Brent formed over the central Atlantic Ocean early Monday morning, and according to the National Hurricane Center, Brent is expected to strengthen over the tropical central Atlantic and move across the Lesser Antilles. Minister of State responsible for the Disaster Reconstruction Authority, Miles LaRota, says Brent is not expected to impact the Bahamas even as it moves closer.
The storm is about 1,000 miles out from the Lesser Antilles. We don't expect any strengthening until about Thursday. The projected path have it moving over Puerto Rico on, I think, Haiti and the Dominican Republic, Jamaica area. And so it's no threat to us right now. If it was to move in our direction, we're looking at sometime next week. I advise the public to follow those advisories and stay prepared.
As some islands in the country have already been experiencing severe flooding and torrential rain over the past few weeks, Minister LaRota assures the public that all disaster agencies are ready and prepared in the event of a natural disaster.
Well, at the beginning of the month of June, late May was Hurricane Preparedness Month. We did some communications there. Those agencies that deal with preparedness, mitigation, resiliency, they're all prepared and ready to go.
Tropical Storm Brett is the second named storm for the hurricane season, following Tropical Storm Arlene that impacted the western area in Florida and the Gulf of Mexico. That was earlier this month. The Bahamas is still benefiting from pent-up demand for post-COVID-19 travel. Tourism Investments and Aviation Minister, Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, in touting tourism figures for 2023, says the industry is just getting started. Deputy Prime Minister Cooper, during his contribution to the budget debate on Monday, said the Bahamas is well on its way to surpassing 8 million visitors this year. He noted that at the end of April 2023, overall air and sea arrivals surpassed 2022 levels by 79% and exceeded the banner 2019 numbers by 32%.
This bill encourages foreign investment with a view to the economic benefit to harness local entrepreneurship. As they say, a rising tide floats all boats. The Tourism Development Corporation will lower the barrier to entry into the tourism industry for the average young man or young woman. And I have announced that more than $6 billion in new foreign direct investment projects have come and are in the pipeline that we approved since coming to office. We view the massive growth in foreign direct investment in the tourism space as not being for the sake of development itself or to simply enrich the developers, but to advance Bahamian empowerment.
Air stopover arrivals also surpassed 2022 levels by 34%, which matched 2019 performance levels and well ahead of overall global pre-pandemic levels, and the Family Islands have not been left out either.
But guess what? In the same 4-month period this year, we welcomed some 3.5 million visitors, and we got 8 months left.
Keep it
On this current trajectory. We fully expect to shatter the much-touted historic 2019 overall visitor arrival numbers by the end of the third quarter, and will conservatively welcome well over 8 million visitors by the end of 2023, and we're just getting started. Air stopover arrivals, heads in beds, that stay longer and spend more surpassed 2022 levels by 34% and matched 2019 performance levels, pacing well ahead of overall global pre-pandemic recovery forecasts. And at some point within this fiscal year, we saw most of our islands experiencing their most historic monthly foreign air arrivals. We're breaking records in Nassau, Paradise Island, in South Andros too, North Andros and the Berry Islands, Cat Key, Cat Island, and Eleuthera.
Wow. Hallelujah.
Exuma, and Long Island too. We're breaking records.
We're working.
If we analyze the major islands that have not reached full recovery, we will see that after being shut down for over 2 years, San Salvador's air stopovers have now returned to 92% of its 2019 levels, and is expected to end this year also experiencing record air arrivals.
Add to that, Grand Bahama's total air and sea arrivals also exceeding 2022 levels by 137%, and overall visitor arrivals soared 91% of 2019 pre-pandemic Dorian levels. Abaco also making a comeback with overall visitor arrivals surpassing 2022 figures by 72%. And finally, in this segment, during Monday's afternoon session of the budget debate, the Minister for Grand Bahama, Ginger Moxey, unveiled the expansion of the Grand Bahama's shipyard, with cruise line shareholders investing some $500 million for expansion of the shipyard operations.
The project will begin this year, and the docks will be delivered in the back half of 2025 and 2026. When completed, the expanded shipyard facility will be the largest cruise ship repair facility in the world, and with the new docks, it will be capable of servicing all cruise lines around the world, including cargo ships, bulk carriers, tanker ships, as well as the growing new LNG vessels. This means that the larger cruise ships currently operating year-round in the Caribbean will be able to be repaired here in the Bahamas.
Minister Moxey also gives an update on the Carnival Grand Port, which she says will bring more tourists to the island, creating jobs and giving Grand Bahama a much-needed economic boost.
Dredging was completed in April 2023, mass grading completed in May of this year, site elevated 12 to 15 feet resiliency plan for storm management. The geotech study was favorable, structural plans completed and released. Carnival is working with waterkeepers on mangrove restoration efforts. Relocation of coral reefs is constantly being monitored and are doing very well. The request for landside construction partner will be released in mid-July. Food and beverage main operator has been selected, who will also engage smaller local food and beverage for outlets at the port. Engagement of local retailers is in progress, and the tentative completion of the Carnival Grand Port is September 2025.
According to Minister Moxey, construction is also on the rise, and there is definitely a buzz in the air as Grand Bahama continues to rebound. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.